Hi, this is the first tutorial for the Celebration Days spreadsheet for the Google Sheets version. So the spreadsheet is open. I'm on the List of Days to Celebrate worksheet or tab, and it's fairly pale, but you can see at the bottom of this tab is a little blue bar, and that's a color coding that helps to differentiate the two worksheets displayed. Now, this worksheet is the entire list of celebration days in the spreadsheet. That's more than 3,000 days. It's a lot of days. So if you're trying to determine days to add to your editorial calendar for your blog posts, you could scroll through these and review one by one. But let's look at some options to search instead and set up your configuration. So the first option we'll look at is in column C, the description column. We're going to click on this little filter icon, and we're going to select filter by condition. So we'll click on that arrow to expand it. Now in this drop-down selection, we will select text contains. And then in the value or formula field, that's where we'll enter our text criteria. So I'm going to enter peace and click OK, and let's see what we come up with. A much smaller list. So once you have differentiated some selections, you've done some searching, then you can actually make your selections in the selections column. Before we do that, I want to show you some other search options. So that's one. And before I do any other options, I'm going to be careful to remove these existing filters because the filters are cumulative. You can have multi-layered filters, and when you do, sometimes you might see unexpected results if you don't remove the previous filter. So another technique would be to go to column E, the category column, click on the little filter icon. Now this is going to be a much smaller list. It actually is just the categories here. So first I'll clear all the selections, and then let's look at one. Let's look at comical, and we'll click OK. Now this is still a fair number of items, but it's much smaller than looking at the entire list. So that's another technique you can use to search for information. Return this to select all. Now another way would be simply using the built-in find option in Google Sheets. So if I press Control F on the keyboard, you'll see a little field is displayed. In this search field, I'm simply going to type peace again. You'll see right away it's calculating the number of items it's found. So it's found a total of 19, and it's displaying the first option. So it has a handy highlight feature here to show you where it's found the option you were looking for. And by using the arrows, you can go to the next item, number 2, number 3, etc. Very handy. So we'll remove that. Now, as you're going through the list, when you find something that's interesting, you simply need to select that item for your own list. So let's say Copyright Law Day is interesting to us. So instead of not on my list, you want to click on the drop down in column D, the selections column, and I'm going to say, maybe I'm not entirely certain I want to add it or not. I'm just going to say maybe right now. And that's now added to my list. So that when you want to look at all the selections you've made, you can again use the filter icon, this time in the selections column, and we'll remove the not on my list selection. We'll just leave my selections and maybe. Click OK. And here is everything that we've chosen to include in our editorial calendar. Now, this is just the first step in sorting out what you want to add to your calendar. So this is the configuration determining which items you want to add. In the next tutorial, we'll look at planning for those activities.